Hey, welcome to part 37. We are all about cloud certification. So this is your Databrick PySpark code. So they are putting name, age, and what is the dog name. This is the dog name. So the output is this way. You get the owner name, Keith, age 30, and dog's name is Fido. Keith, 30, and dog name is Fido. But we have one more dog name, that is Fluffy. So we add one more row, Keith, 30, and Fluffy. So now this is the PySpark code. We have to complete it. So here first thing they are doing is they are pointing to the source.json. They have a read option multi-line from that file, from the JSON file. And then from that JSON file, once they have it in the source.df, and this is a data frame. So df is data frame. Then what do you do? So you will have to select here. You have to select what you want, and you have to explode. Okay, and then here you have to use you have to use alias. This one alias after exploding, because you are giving alias, and this is a alias name. Because you see here everywhere we give alias owner, alias age. So we should give alias here, alias the dog. And this explode, this is a separate line. Somehow in the certification they do not this is a bit clumsy, so people feel explode, and this is a separate line. So our answer, like we choose select, we will then explode what data we need, and here we are putting alias because they put alias for owner, alias for age, we are putting alias for dog also. So let us look at one more question. Here you are doing analysis. You have a bus fare data, like if you go from say you are taking Greyhound bus from New York to Boston. So what is the bus fare like? And you go from New York to Connecticut. So you have so many bus fare data. This is the bus fare data. You are storing it in Azure data lake storage. This is just like a blob store, object storage. You can store anything, file, video, audio. So in this case, they are storing this bus fare data here. Okay, and you are doing that analysis on this data. This data is in data lake storage now. So you see this. This is your data lake storage, a yellow box, and then this is your database. So which database? This is your the Synapse database. You are doing analysis on the file that is kept here on the data lake storage. Okay, you're firing SQL queries. So this is a SQL, transact SQL. So first let us try to understand what the question is asking. It is telling what do the query results include. In the result, what will you get? So will you get only CSV files in the trip data underscore 20 subfolder? So this trip data underscore 20 is not a subfolder. Why? Because it has a file extension and this dot assigned error. So this is a file. This is not a subfolder. So this is wrong. And then B says it will return all files that have file names that begin with trip data 2020. No, it will not return all files. It will return only CSV files. Is this not CSV? Only CSV files. So this is also wrong. Okay. Then C says, okay, it will give all CSV files where file name contain tripod 2020. See, First of all, it will not return all all files, because it is only CSV. That is point one. This you see CSV. Second is you have a star here. Star means anything that starts from trip data underscore 20, and then any word can come, but it should start with trip data underscore 2020, because star is after this word. So this word will always be in the starting. So when we say the file name will contain, means trip data 2020 will be in between. No, it will be starting. So D says only CSV, that we have seen, because we will get only CSV. This CSV extension is mentioned here, and it begins with trip data 2020. That means it will always start with this, because you know this star is kept here. Star is after this word. That is why D is correct. See, in this question, you have this database. This is a Synapse database. Usually, and we store data warehouse kind of data here. So it has fact table, and what it's contained, it contains data for first half of 2020. Okay, so this guy here, this database contains first half, means January. This is January. So it is using January to June 2020 data. It is keeping in this database. Now, important thing, you have to minimize the processing time to delete the data. So this is of utmost importance. Suppose data is greater than 10 years, you want to remove it from this database. So your design should take into account that delete operation should be proper. The processing time should not be high there. Second, it says you have to minimize the IO queries for year to date values. So every day we are firing queries. There are IO operations happening. So for year to date values, that means we need something like a partition or something which is on year or date. So this is a table structure. You have transaction type, transaction date, customer ID, recipient ID, amount. This is a fact table. So the best option is to use partition, because if I have to delete data that is 10 years old and I can partition it on date, transaction date, I can just drop that partition. I don't have to fire delete statements and delete each record. I can drop the partition. So this would be our final answer. If you're not yet subscribed, do so. It will help you with cloud certifications. This brings us to the end of part 37. See you in the next part.